All right, so this might be the most important show that you watch over the next couple of weeks because today I'm going to give you my full altcoin watch list for Q4. Q4 is just a matter of days away, and if you don't have your watch lists ready, you may be making a huge mistake. I'm not only going to give you the list of altcoins though today, we're going to run through every single altcoin chart with technical analysis for each coin, because not all coins are created equal. Right now, some coins look like they're slightly overextended. However, there are other coins that look like they have a lot of room to run, and we're going to discuss the exact setup so you can get in at the right technical entry. You guys know I'm a fundamentalist, so I'm going to give you the fundamentals today, but there's also going to be a major focus on the exact levels that we're going to be looking to buy and the exact levels that we're going to be looking to TP based on the technicals. As you guys know, I love to use technicals in order to manage my risk. If you do enjoy content like this, because it's going to be an absolutely massive video, make sure you do smash the like button. In the comments below as well, I want you to comment which altcoin do you think is a must hold for Q4? Because today we're going to speak about 20 alts. I'm going to run through each sector, AI, RWA, Memecoins, and look at the main ones that I think are going to outperform the market. But let me know in the comments below, what coin would you hold? Just one. What coin would you hold if you had to hold one altcoin for Q4? Very interested to see what you say. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell for, right now, daily crypto alpha. When the market's hot, I'm going to be here every single day. Even in the bear market, I was here most days. There's a few weeks where I took some time off, but I was here pretty much every week, even during a crap market. So I'm always going to be here for you guys, but especially when the market moves, I'm going to need to be here to give you new opportunities every day, to give you the technical setups, help you manage risk, just help navigate you through this market. Now, before we get into the individual alts, and we'll break it down sector by sector, let's do a quick market update. I won't hold you for too long on this update because yesterday we discussed most of what you need to know across Total 3 and Bitcoin. But the TLDR is now, over the last 24 hours, we have started to see signs of a break on Total 3. Just keep in mind that what I really want to see here is a daily close above the previous high at 628. We're at 614, so we haven't actually got that yet. I also want to see a weekly close, which is on Sunday, so that'll be in 4 days' time. If we don't close the weekly this week before Q4, I'll be looking at closing the weekly next week. So just remember, in terms of validating trades, the higher the time frame, typically the better the validation. So I usually look at it in terms of daily close, then weekly close, then monthly close. Daily close will often validate a certain predetermined position sizing, and as we start to close amongst higher time frames like the weekly and then of course the monthly, often setups aren't the best on the monthly, but it is good for things like Bitcoin, then you can look to go more aggressive with your positioning. The good news is, if you're watching this video right now, we haven't really done anything yet. I mean, altcoins haven't even broken past their previous high. They're still, and this is the Total 3 index excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, sitting 30% from even their local high this year. And of course, you know, a long way off the previous all-time high. So this has been a downwards regression channel that we're still technically in right now. I want to remind you of that. But there are signs that we may break. Just keep in mind that all the altcoins that I'm discussing today, they don't operate in a vacuum. You have to keep the broader market into account, and a really important long signal that I am waiting for is a daily close and ideally a weekly close on Total 3 above the previous high, because we've been in a downtrend, right? That's the first sign that you need that we are now in an uptrend, and then you can play continuation longs on the uptrend, which is much easier than trying to time bottoms, of course. And if we end up rejecting here, because I have been taking some profits over the last couple of days, by the way, because that is my rule, sell into resistance, buy at support. If we do reject here into resistance, I will look to have some lower targets on Total 3. I really hope we don't. We are heading into Q4. I think sentiment is definitely improving, so I have a bullish disposition towards the market, but just because I have a bullish disposition doesn't mean that I also won't take technical factors into account. And the other technical factor that I'm taking into account is, of course, Bitcoin. All you need to know about Bitcoin right now is that we need to close above $64,800. This is the major level that we've been rejecting off and pivoting off. It's so important. This is the mid-range level between 60K and 73K that we actually hold 64.8K. We haven't gotten a close. We are rejecting off that level right now. So if you are in a Bitcoin long, this is actually your TP zone, right? But on a confirmed close above, I would be very interested in opening a fresh long, putting in validation below the previous wick low on the daily and the weekly. That is all you need to know about Bitcoin. If altcoins break out, you're likely going to see confluence between Bitcoin breaking past 64.8 and altcoins also making a higher high on total 3. That's all I'm going to tell you for now. You can actually pause the video and read these tweets. I'm not going to run through them just because they're pretty long, but this is a great tweet about taking profits. Read that. Pause the video, read that. Pause the video and read this. I mean, you actually don't need to pause here. It's pretty much all the bullish factors and the reasons why I think we could see further upside in Q4. This was also a good tweet saying that unless we get a whole new set of participants, the most popular stuff is just going to send. You'll notice this in my altcoin watch list today. A lot of the coins I mention are the ones with the most mind share because you want to be beating the market. The entire point of today's video is trying to help you beat the market. We're not trying to underperform Bitcoin. We're not trying to underperform Solana. Like every altcoin I hold needs to be showing either relative strength or narrative strength versus the rest of the market, or what's the point in holding it? You may as well like just long Bitcoin and chill, right? The whole point of trading alts is to beat the market. So I really do like this tweet here because it's spot on. The most popular stuff is going to send, and a lot of the coins that I mentioned is surrounding that thesis. Alex Becker here also has some data on the fact that retail isn't back yet. That's another thing which I like because I don't like getting into overcrowded trades. Like, yes, people on CT are feeling more bullish right now. Yes, people on YouTube are feeling more bullish right now, but from a macro perspective, there's still a lot of headroom. Retail really isn't back. My views are still like a half of what they were. Crypto Banter, Altcoin Daily, Coin Bureau, all these other big channels are also still 50% down or significantly down versus their views back in March. There is a lot of headroom in that sense, YouTube obviously being the best retail indicator for crypto. And then this tweet here looks very simple. Eugene just says it's breakout season. Well, at face value, you might be like, oh yeah, big deal. But there's actually some alpha in this. What is breakout season? Breakout season means there are many alts which have been consolidating in downtrends, which are now starting to break and form new trends in confluence with the move that we're seeing in Bitcoin and Total 3. As they start to break out of these levels and establish new trends, A, you have better risk parameters when it comes to longing these coins, but B, they can move super quickly because the market is now realizing, oh shit, this coin's breaking out of this trend. Let's long this coin because now our next target isn't the resistance that we've just broken above, it's the next range high. So you'll notice a lot of the altcoin setups I'm going to give you today are actually targeting breakout trades. Now, there are some alts which have already run that you can play continuation on, and that's a valid strategy on dips. I'll go through both strategies. But a very good strategy right now is playing the rotations and the breakouts of strong altcoins with mindshare, but the ones that haven't had their actual breakout past range high yet. Because that's where you get the big moves. You know, when you break out from a previous trend into a new trend, the market reprices super quickly. So now let's get into the altcoins. We're going to break it down as follows. Firstly, we're going to discuss our top AI coins for Q4. Then we're going to discuss our top DePin coins for Q4. Then our top L1s. Then our top Memecoins. Then our top RWA coins. Then our top low float high FTV VC coins. Then our top DeFi coins. Then our top GameFi coins. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I've got a couple of interesting coins that I don't see many people talking about, but I really do believe you must hold in your portfolio if you want to maximize Q4. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Absolutely alpha-packed video today. I really hope you enjoy. I put a lot of time into prepping this video, but it's good to be on the charts again. And I've basically spent all morning doing TA and updating my entire trading view list for this video. So really excited today. All right, let's get straight into it. First one is AI. AI doesn't really need much of an introduction in terms of sector performance over the last couple of weeks. As you can see on Velo data here, AI has been the top performing narrative. As you guys know, I like playing narratives with strength. The fact we've seen a resurgence here in terms of price action, and we know that is combined with the mindshare that AI commands, leads me to believe that if the market does break out, we will continue to see outperformance in AI. There's no need to outsmart yourself. There are narratives like AI and meme coins, which are left curve plays, which are likely going to outperform this cycle. And AI is still down a lot since the highs. So there are still lots of opportunities now on the reversal for a lot of these coins. Crypto Koyo here points out the fact that AI over the last week has been the strongest performing narrative alongside other narratives like RWA. So in terms of relative strength, it's a no-brainer to look to position in AI coins if we do get this breakout. Let's firstly look at Tau. This has been the leader. There are coins which haven't broken out yet, which I'm probably more interested in longing right now, but we are already in a Tau long that was shared in the Discord by myself and our head low time frame trader Paradise. You can see here on the right of your screen, he first shared this on September 18th, saying he's getting some exposure in Tau. This was at $317 before it almost doubled in price, and he gave you a bunch of updates. So everyone in the Mars High Club should be in this trade. You can see the trade has been a massive performer, specifically for Paradise. I'm a bit annoyed because I only spot longed Tau, and I, made almost a 2x, but Paradise has made crazy gains, 888% longing Tau based on the setups in the Discord. And as you can see, he's posted, this is just Tau posting, by the way, so many updates as time goes on about Tau, even today, about how it looks slightly overextended and may converge back into this noodle on the H4. So the good thing about the Mars High Club is we give you lots of updates. So if you want more hand-holding, not just the setups, but also us to help guide you through the trade, through entering the trade, so execution and taking profit on the trade, I really think you're going to want to be in that Discord if you aren't already. Of course, I know a lot of you are probably sick of me talking about it because you're probably already in the Discord, but if you're not, there's a link in the description below. That's just one example, but we have dozens of coins where we're actively monitoring them every single day and hand-holding you through that trade. The TLDR right now on Tau is, look, any major pullbacks are for buying. There is a strategy we teach in the Discord. This is a noodle trading strategy. We have a custom indicator that Paradise developed. Every time we pull back into this band, that is basically our momentum gauge, and a bullish retest of that band would likely signal a new long. It looks like we are going to come down and meet that band. I'm sure Paradise will update you guys in the Discord as we enter that zone, and that's when I would be topping up on Tau. But right now, in the short term, it just looks very extended, right? But ideally, you would have gotten your spot entries down here when we were talking about it. And it's not just the Discord. I did actually speak about that on the show as well. I pretty much had these charts. You guys will maybe recognize a few of these charts because the main structural points of these charts haven't changed in months. The range high, the range low, that stuff never changes. What does change is how we execute based on lower time frame price action. Link in the description to Mars High Club if you do want to join. Now let's move on to a coin which is also a leader in AI that I don't think has moved yet and is showing signs it could be the next Tau. That is Near Protocol. Take a look at this orange line here. That is the downtrend that we are currently breaking out of. This is a very interesting zone for me because we also have our range high at $6, which if we can confirm above this, gives us headroom to run back to the previous all-time high on Near. Near is probably my favorite AI long right now, alongside Tau, because Tau, I'm still holding a lot of my position, but if you're not already in a position, I think Near is probably a good potential rotation runner from Tau. Another one that is solid is FET. This is obviously rebranding into ASI, so Ocean, Agix, FET, all combining into the FET token. So the FET token becomes the major proxy here that combines all of them. Once again, this has an interesting level, 180, that it is going to come and test very, very soon. You'll notice some of these coins are into resistance. Some later in the show that we'll talk about are at support, so look like better buys. The ones that are heading into resistance, you really just want to be patient. Oftentimes you can wait for a confirmed break. Yes, you might miss the first 9% move, but you're going to get the much bigger move later. And a lot of these moves will also happen in confluence with Total 3 and Bitcoin, which haven't actually confirmed their breakouts yet. So many of these trades haven't validated. But the reason I'm doing this video today, and it's actually very important you take notes today, is because, if I'm making a video after they break out, what's the point in that? I'm trying to prepare you with this video so you have the exact levels and you know exactly when to long. So FET is another one that is on my watch list. Moving on now to another coin which is about to break. It's in the process of breaking, but I really want to see it close above its resistance, is Prime. Prime is one that I actually talked about, that I was buying support at $7. This has been an amazing trade for us. I talked about it on the YouTube channel. So well done to everyone that's in Prime. As this starts to break above this zone and hold above, daily close, weekly close are the two things that I'm looking at. I may enter another position. I already have a decent bag, but I might look to enter more and then set my invalidation below on Prime. So those are the four for AI. Tau, Near, FET, Prime. Just remember, I'm not mentioning every coin in this video. There are other coins that I think are genuinely compelling in the current market. For example, when it comes to AI, I really like coins like AOS. I think they offer decent upside, especially at these levels. But this video is a video based on technicals. So if I'm really trying to narrow this video down and give you the top just 3 or 4 coins from each niche instead of overwhelming you with a million coins. I've got 10 AI coins on my watch list, but I also don't believe in being in 100 trades. It's too hard to manage. Better just being in a couple trades from each narrative. I'll give you some options today to pick the strongest ones that I think look the best and are the strongest candidates for outperformance. Because once again, remember, you're trying to outperform in Q4, not underperform. And that's why I'm just bringing the strong coins that are showing strength to you today. Now moving on to DePin. DePin as a narrative, I mean, it's highly tied into AI. What I like about DePin over the longer term is how much potential it has in terms of building genuine flywheels. I still don't think in terms of tokenomics, there is a more relevant sector of crypto than DePin. Because the reason DePin exists in a decentralized format is to ensure that there's the right incentivization model for people to be rewarded for, let's say, running nodes on the network or staking tokens. This is very important as it makes DePin protocols more decentralized and more efficient in terms of their ability to scale because there's adequate incentivization. And it also means that, data storage and compute power and all these things that were typically prohibitive due to the centralized players like AWS and Google, etc., are now much cheaper and more accessible. So longer term DePin is probably a top 2 narrative for me in terms of genuine adoption use case alongside RWA. But of course, this video is more focused on the shorter term. And there are a couple in the shorter term that I think look really interesting. The first one is Aethia. Now you see this red scribble. This is a scribble that I did on one of my streams a few weeks ago, and uncannily we're actually like following pretty much the exact scribble, just at a slightly more accelerated pace. But that is pretty much the setup I was looking for. I was looking for a pivot off these lows, then I was looking for a close above this zone. Watch the daily close today. We are getting a rejection, but if we can hold above this zone, I actually think we could definitely target range high here, and that is a decent swing of 26%. And you can always set your stop right below this daily wick here. It's a little tight, but if you're trading short term, you want to have a tight stop. If you're trading with a multi-week horizon, multi-month horizon, you want to have a slightly bigger stop. Remember, your invalidation will be a lot bigger the longer the time frame. So you got to make sure you analyze the time frame based on the technicals and your conviction when it comes to a trade. But Aethia is one that I'm definitely watching, trying to see where it closes. And I think narrative-wise, that is one of the stronger DePin protocols. Another one that is extremely strong in DePin from a narrative point of view is WMT. There are some big things coming for WMT, and it's still down. If you look at the highs to where it is now, it's still down 50%. It has moved off the wick low 67%, but there's still a lot of upside here. I do see this as actually a potential top 100 protocol one day, if not top 50. I really think technology-wise, they have the potential to really crack into that upper echelon of projects, let alone DePin projects. And right now, you're getting a pretty discounted price on buying into that ecosystem, in my opinion. And I like it because it has flipped above this level. So this is one I've actually recently added exposure to and will continue to add exposure to. Probably one of the better looking charts in today's video. We'll expand on the fundamentals more in a future video, but this video is mostly about the charts. Now we're getting into L1s. L1s, I think, are here to stay. You can see here that the L1 narrative has not gone away. In fact, you can see here that they've been pretty much following Memecoins. So Memecoins outperformed, but L1s have also been doing decently. What's underperformed is the L2s. But the L1s, there seems to be some appetite due to Solana being a front runner to kind of play these rotations. Now, obviously, you can hold Sol. Let's speak about Sol right now and its technicals and trade Sol. It's currently just floating with a resistance level at 153. I did share on the show 2 weeks ago that I wanted a support buy at 120. I got those buys. I'm still in my Solana long. I'm not actually closing any Sol here just because I have a multi-month time horizon on it. If this was a coin where I was leverage trading it and it was a lower cap, I'd probably look to take some profits here into resistance, but it's Solana, so I feel comfortable holding. Anyone that hasn't got an entry, you probably want to wait to see continued momentum. Otherwise, you want to buy into a deeper pullback into support. There is a chance, of course, we do reject on total 3 here. We come back down to this horizontal, right, at 559 bill. In that case, you're going to see a lot of these altcoins like Solana potentially come back down and test their support zones. So you may get a second stab here. So just remember, when it comes to trading, you want to maintain a level head. You don't want to just FOMO in straight after watching this video. Wait for the technicals to present. I'm giving you 20 charts today. Out of the 20, I only think 3 or 4 look really good for buys right now. I'll specify what they are as we go along. WMT was one of them. NIA's probably one of them. But there are a few coins like Solana, which don't look like, or Tau, which don't look like screaming buys right now, but if we do reject, may end up becoming buys. So just keep that in mind. You do want the technicals to align with the fundamentals in terms of trading Q4. You can also just stack and DCA a spot portfolio. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it depends how you trade. This is how I trade, and I'm trying to be authentic to my brand, and so I'm going to share what my plans are. If you want to just take more of a chill approach on DCAing, you can just buy into major dips and kind of relax a little bit. If you don't have exposure to a coin, get 30% up front, have the remaining 70% triggering at certain levels. That's also a valid strategy. Now, what are the other L2s I think are going to continue to outperform? Phantom's one of them. Well done to everyone that got into Phantom, because I think I've shown this chart like 40 times on the show, which is amazing because we finally got the break of the must break zone that I pointed out at 58 cents. If we do see a pullback, I'd love to buy again at 58 cents. If not, I don't hate getting some exposure here because I am targeting $1 on this one. Hopefully it goes a lot higher into Sonic, but $1 is my first major TP zone. Personally, I'm just holding until $1. Really simple plan on Phantom. On Sui, this is another one like Tau where, yes, it's probably worth playing continuation on major dips, but it does look slightly overextended. So although I think it does continue to outperform from a macro perspective, in the short term, I don't love buying into this chart right now, but it is definitely a leader, and that's why it's in the video as a top L1. If you have a longer time horizon, you can probably step back a little bit and just hold some Sui. Now, let's get into meme coins. Then we're going to get into RWA, then VC coins, then DeFi coins, then GameFi coins. In the Mars High Club, I have posted the TradingView watch list, so you can easily just add it to your TradingView, so you don't need to manually add it. If you're watching the show, it's fine. You can just, manually add these coins. Maybe pick and choose the ones that you like. There might be some coins here you don't like. There might be some coins that you like. Try and consolidate it down. But that will be in the Mars High Club as well. Link in the description to the Discord where you can just get the consolidated list. Just download it straight to your TradingView so you don't need to manually add it. Now let's go into the meme coins. Meme coins don't really need much introduction. They've been a leader this cycle. I think they continue to lead. They have seen a little bit of weakness recently, which is good because you have a lot of memes which were flying in March when retail was really heavy in the market that are down. Why are they down? It's because retail isn't that heavy in the market right now. And therein lies the opportunity, because I do think, just like I showed with that post earlier, which was it, this one, unless we get a whole new set of participants, the most popular stuff is just going to send. And what he's saying here is new set of participants as in completely crypto agnostic people that have not been in the market for many, many years. In terms of the current contingent, if people from March come back, they're technically not net new participants. These guys are just going to bid the most popular stuff they've seen fly earlier in the year. And meme coins definitely constitute that. So WIF is one that I think is very interesting. It's now starting to close above what was a key level. Now, obviously, your support level's at 150, your resistance level's at 220. 220, a reclaim there would be really bullish for WIF. Keep your eye on that. Pepe is a little bit more advanced because it just reclaimed its previous resistance. It's trying to turn it into support. What's interesting is also the fact we have this orange diagonal here, which it is currently flirting with as well. I'd love to see a break here and then a pullback, and then I can get in on the confirmation, and then I'll TP here. That would be like a classic uptrend and a nice setup for Pepe. Right now, I'm just riding the buys that we got in this zone. You guys know that I bought the liquidation wick here. I was public about that. Also shared it in my Discord. This was also a zone that I was buying. I haven't bought any more since then. I won't buy until there's a confirmation above. If you didn't get these entries, you maybe can front run it a little bit and get a small position now. But just keep in mind, I am trying to play this relatively diligently, not just Pepe, but all the altcoins. The next meme coin I'm watching is Sundog. This actually looks really good from a technical perspective because we haven't had a lower low. It's been just an uptrend, allowing you to basically buy every major dip. So you can see the low here, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Now we are getting potentially another higher low, which is a retest of the all-time high. What I want to see is consolidation on the daily above all-time high, because that would indicate to me a potential leg higher. Last time we consolidated for like 4 days and then we broke down. So I want to see ideally not just retest consolidation, because that that can be a bearish signal. I want to see something like this clearing the previous high. That to me is bullish consolidation, a bullish channel, which would likely break to the upside. That is what I'm looking for on Sundog for my next big entry. If not, I think range high is another great zone if we do come down there to buy, as long as we don't clear below this low, because these two lows are very, very important. This is like a decent new low. I don't really care if we break below that, because we have these two previous lows here. But if you break below that, then it's starting to look worrying at that point. But I mean, we don't need to worry about that right now. We're getting a retest of all-time high, and until proven otherwise, the chart looks good, and it looks, just based on the trend, like it should continue its uptrend. Just remember, with coins in general, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. I mean, there's no need to really overcomplicate trading or overcomplicate crypto. You're just playing trends. If you're in an uptrend, you're longing dips. If you're in a downtrend, you're shorting or selling pumps. Pretty much that simple. And total 3 right now, you can even apply this to the overall market. It's been in a downtrend. So the meta has been shorting pumps, and I mean, you can long dips at the bottom of this zone as well. But it's mostly been shorting pumps or, selling. Selling and shorting is basically the same thing, except, shorting is with usually leverage coins you don't own. Spot selling is the equivalent of selling, but you own it. It's the other way around, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on total 3. So this is a resistance zone, technically a sell zone, but I mean, it's got to break eventually, right? It might not be this time, but at some point it's going to break. So I'm trying to prep you early in case we do end up getting the break. I think the difference now versus the last times we pumped into this zone is the sentiment. I think the sentiment is significantly better than it was during some of the other retests. 2 more memes I want to quickly talk about. Popcat is one. It's breaking above all-time high. Watch this chart. Now, from a technical perspective, Popcat looks better than MOG. But from a fundamental perspective, I think I prefer MOG right now. Just because it's another cat coin that's at like a 50% discount versus Popcat now. So if I was spot buying one of the cat coins, I would actually buy MOG. But if I was trading, I would trade Popcat. Does that make sense? Cool. Then the last meme coin I want to discuss is Foxy. Unlike Popcat, this hasn't run, but it's starting to wake up a bit. It's made new lows. It's been responding from those lows. You guys know I de-risked on a break of this major support level, right? I'm looking to get back in. I want to get back in, but I would only do so on a break of this orange level here. This may happen quickly though. This may even happen this week. So keep your eye on this level. You can trade this with a target of 12 cents. And then obviously as it starts to work its way up, let's say it does something like this, it might reject here. You can look to see how it reacts in this zone for a potential reclaim long targeting the mid-range or even the range high, but that is still a fair bit away. The first entry signal is a breakout trade here. Now, just a little bit of alpha for you guys in general when it comes to breakout trades. There's pretty much 3 entries that I like to do. The first one's on the initial break, so this might be intraday as we start to break above. The second is on the retest, and the third is on the break of the original breakout high, if that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3 entries basically for breakout trades. The same thing can apply for total 3. The same thing can apply for other altcoins I speak about today, because I do get asked that a lot, Mars. If I'm breakout trading, so not buying support, if you're trading breakouts, how do I do it? Usually you'll try and get 3 entries. Now, a lot of the time, you won't get your full entry because coins can full send. So a coin might do this, right? And it might just full send. In that case, you get your breakout entry, then you just wait for the first pullback for your second entry. And you might not get a third, but that's fine. That's typically how it goes with breakouts, but that's how you want to size it because it helps if there's a breakdown. So let's say it breaks out, retests, breaks this level, and then there's just like a fake out. You want to have invalidation because that enables you on a trade to basically make sure you're not risking 100% of your bag. You might only be risking 10 to 20% at max if you are trading a breakout. Because if you're trading a breakout, right, you're not trading the fundamentals of a coin. You're trading more so the technicals because your validation for buying was the fact that it was breaking out. So like disregard fundamentals, basically, you're trading a breakout, right? So you got to treat it like a breakout trade and have technical parameters for that trade. If you're trading an altcoin fundamentally, then your main goal is to get your cost basis as low as possible. It becomes different from a breakout trade. And in that case, you want to look for like higher time frame, horizontal reclaims. You want to wait for potential dips into key support zones, big liquidation events. The way you trade a fundamental coin versus a coin you're trading is very different. Now, Foxy might be a mix of both, right? But my fundamental buys might happen on major dips like these and or a reclaim here, but I might take a shorter term trade with some leverage on a breakout. I'm just using Foxy as an example. You can use pretty much any coin. I hope that helps you a little bit, because I have seen some questions about that in my comments. By the way, I've been reading all the comments, so make sure to leave a comment below what altcoin you are most bullish on, your number one alt. It can be an alt that I've mentioned today. It can be one that I haven't mentioned. What is the number one alt that you want to hold for Q4? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to be responding to a bunch of comments. Love hiding a bunch of comments. I've been actively reading it again, and it's been good because it's great to see the community support. Yesterday's show, we freaking killed it. I think it's going to get almost 40,000 views. Like, guys, thank you so much. I was away for a week. For smashing the love on that video, and the comments were amazing. So thank you for the support. You motivate me to be here every single day. Or, you know, recently it hasn't been every day, but this week, every day, and give you the altcoin alpha. Your love and support means a lot, because that's what motivates me. Like, I thrive off your energy as well. So if we keep the energy good in the comments, if we keep the vibes good, if we keep it good in the Discord, mine will be good on the show. Now, on to the last three sectors. RWA. RWA has been a super strong narrative this cycle. When I went to token 2049, my bullishness for RWA was reinvigorated somewhat, because I realized that we need RWA in terms of achieving mass crypto adoption. We need, in terms of profit-making opportunities beyond just trading off, you know, volume and funding rates, the ability to earn yield in crypto from real-world assets like real estate, like bonds, like equities. It's really, really important. And I think the infrastructure hasn't quite caught up yet to the importance of the infrastructure. And for that reason, there is a lot of upside in RWA longer term. In the shorter term as well, I think people have clocked onto this, and it should start to move. You can see here that from a historical perspective, AI, DePin, and RWA, they tend to move together, and compared to March, they're still significantly down. That's why these three narratives are three of the narratives that I'm speaking about in today's video, because I think they have the potential to not only outperform in Q4, but also they still have a decent bit of upside to their March highs. And at some point, I think we go higher than the March highs this cycle, by the way. But, you know, I'm just trying to keep a lid on my expectations for now, because, you know, we can't get too crazy heading into resistance on total 3. But, you know, I do sincerely hope we go much, much higher. But today's video, we're trying to keep a level head and be very strategic and diligent when it comes to our setups here. OM is probably the top RWA proxy right now. Look, it's showing signs of weakness on the 4 hourly. I think it could come down and test range higher to $1. The thing is, it's in a mid-range right now, so it's hard to trade. So I've talked about this so much, like literally a million times. So I really hope my loyal viewers have a bag of this. You probably should by now. If you don't, just be patient. Let's just see what happens to OM. It's not my favorite long in today's video in terms of price action, but I do think this will eventually breach all-time highs. So from a spot accumulation point of view, I don't hate it, but from the more trading lens, it's kind of in an unclear range right now. The real range to get in was on the retest of range high. As you can see, we got a breakout. As you guys know, that would have been entry number 1, entry number 2, entry number 3 here. Or if you're playing range high, I also talked about it a lot, you know, in terms of the low range and the mid range. Ondo is an interesting one as well, because this was a real outperformer earlier in the year. Now, it has seen some weakness heading into the major unlocks in January, but it's starting to reverse quite nicely. And when this thing pumps, it pumps really hard. So although Mantra has been my preferred one over the past few months that I've been public about, I still think Ondo from a trading perspective is an interesting one to potentially long, as long as you keep your risk parameters in check. For full disclosure, I have been taking some profits on my Ondo position as we head into resistance. This is a major level of resistance here, this entire zone, but it's definitely one to keep your eye on, because if it moves, it can move quick, and it might be one that I jump back into a long, and probably a leverage long, like a shorter term long, just to capitalize on a move. So Ondo and OM are really the two RWA leaders. Now, there are more. I said in yesterday's video I was going to give you some more. I'm still researching them. So I want to make sure I come to you with the real alpha. So I'm still meeting with teams, looking into new tech. Like, as I said, RWA probably hasn't caught up to its demand. When I do see an opportunity, if that's a low cap or whatnot, I will share it on the show, because I think there can't just be two leaders. Like, bro, AI's got like 10 coins. RWA has like 2-3 coins. You've got Goldfinch, Centrifuge, you know, Clearpool, but there's going to be more. There's going to be more, and I think RWA will do well. Now heading into VC coins. What is a VC coin? I'm going to be very short with this section, because the narrative is pretty much the same across all these coins. There are a lot of coins which had a lot of unlocks, which are significantly beaten down, which I think if the market picks up could have some scam pumps, right? So these aren't coins that I want to hold for the whole cycle necessarily. These aren't coins I'm necessarily as bullish on as RWA and AI longer term. But in the short term, these can move quickly off the lows. We've already seen them move on average 65%, but a lot of them are still down significantly since their launch. If you look at the launches of these low float high FTV coins, a lot of them are significantly down versus the rest of the market, which is why you're seeing aggressive pumps. Let's quickly run through the setups. Saga looks good. It's starting to break above this level. If you want to long it near here, I think you can put invalidation below. It's probably a better spot trade though, because the stop gap, so the gap between its current price and your stop loss would be like 16%. So, you know, if you're doing 5x leverage, you're pretty much wiped out. So it's pretty much just a spot one, but that's interesting. Alt layer, maybe you could use some leverage. Once again, you know, your stop's 26%, so it's also pretty difficult. But this is another spot one that I like because there's just stupid upside if it continues as pump. And if not, you know, you're only losing a quarter of your position in getting invalidated. By the way, there's nothing wrong with getting invalidated on a technical setup. That's the whole point of having an invalidation. And I did a show on this a couple of weeks ago where I like drilled that point home. I'm sure you guys remember it. Zero is also looking good. It just broke above its range high. That's a really key zone I wanted it to reclaim. Also broke through the diagonal. So that's what I'm watching. And then the last VC alt, which its major unlock is like 35 days away. But in the short term, I think it could pump is Tia. Obviously, that 7.3 level is a major level it needs to reclaim. I don't know what's going to happen on the unlock. It can go either way. Sometimes, you know, the teams are tricky and they do major announcements or they use treasury to pump price during an unlock. And it kind of throws everyone off guard, so everyone that's sold pre-unlock ends up buying back in. So just because there's an unlock doesn't mean it's necessarily going to pump and then dump. Sometimes it actually dumps because people are, you know, fearing it, and then it pumps due to some shenanigans. So I don't know what the alpha is there, but the chart's interesting, and I'll just play it off the technicals, and it kind of fits into this narrative of VC coins that could potentially pump because they're really beaten down. Two last sectors, but really not the least of importance. They are very important. DeFi and GameFi. On the DeFi side, we have seen a resurgence in mindshare, specifically for RWA, which is a leading DeFi coin. RWA mindshare and sentiment a couple of weeks ago hit a record high. We have seen some reinvigoration for the sector. RWA here looks pretty good. It has made a big move, so I probably wouldn't enter now. I'd either wait for a pullback into 118 or a break of 212. There are two altcoins, however, which haven't really moved from the DeFi niche, which are really reflexive bets on the bull market. So my short summary here is, if you're bullish on upside in Q4 or Q1, you want to be holding reflexive coins that have positive momentum flywheels. Basically, coins you can spot long, but almost get a leverage long on without having to take leverage and pay funding rates because of their reflexive nature versus the market. Now, obviously, meme coins fit this category, but there are DeFi coins which are hardwired due to their internal mechanisms to actually have these flywheels, which is great when the market's pumping, you're going to make a lot of money, but it can be bearish when the market's dumping because they can retrace harder. That's what's happened on Rune since March. But Rune, if you're bullish on the market over the next 6 months, I think becomes a great long and is one that looks good from a technical perspective. The other one is ENA. ENA gives you more yield if funding rates are positive. What happens when the market's pumping? More people long leverage, meaning what? Funding rates go up. Yes, Athena will reprice, in my opinion, if that occurs. So there is a positive flywheel. It's also breaking above its diagonal. It is at resistance now. Keep that in mind. A close above 35. This could be one of the coins that Eugene says earlier that could break out. Remember what I said earlier. It's breakout season. Many of the alts I've showed you today are into resistance. Now, some are flipped, but coins like Tia is into resistance. Coins like even RWA, that even... No, not quite Rune. Rune's just reflipped. ENA, there are like around 50% of the alts I talked about today aren't looking like buys right this second, but may break out very soon. And that's why I'm putting them on your radar early. So ENA and Rune, great reflexive bets on the market. And then lastly, GameFi. I still don't think it's real GameFi season yet. I'm still not buying a lot of games, although a lot of them are up off the lows heavily, as Alex Becker points out here. But there are two that I'm buying, and it's gaming infra, because I think gaming infra leads the gaming run before the games catch a bid. There's two that stand out and two that I've taken decently sized positions in following token 2049 and hearing really good things about them. The first one's Beam. It's closing above the weekly. I'm waiting till Sunday for my next position, but I did get an entry on the breakout. This is one I think performs really, really well. It's a gaming infrastructure play and probably one of my top infra plays alongside Super. This one's amazing. I think Elio's got some really good stuff cooking for Super, and I think this one can also perform well. It's only recently just reflipped resistance. The big level, I mean, you can get an entry here, and I actually did get an entry here over the last few days, but the big level in terms of upside as retail starts to pour in is actually on a break of the 1.5 zone. I mean, that level to all-time highs, keeping in mind there has been some dilution though, is 223%. Absolutely huge. So that's when the real fun begins, but now, you can get some pre-fun by a potential move into that level. And I do think Super keeps moving. I wouldn't fade Elio. Obviously, he also has a huge audience. He's probably the biggest channel alongside Alex Becker, Crypto Banter, especially in a bull run. So I can't fade him or the team at Super, given what they've been able to do building throughout a bear market. Also, I talk to a lot of games. You guys know I'm meeting with projects all the time. I'm trying to get alpha. Pretty much every top game in the space is integrated with Superverse. So if you just want general exposure to gaming, Super pretty much acts like a proxy. So I like Beam and Super as my top gaming players. That is all on the altcoin side for today. I think I've got the point across on my plan across many of these alts. Of course, if you want to actually trade these coins, so enter them, exit them, we'll be hand-holding in the Discord. I think the Discord, especially if the market breaks, will be really, really hectic and busy over the next few weeks. We do have a cap on the Discord. It's 1,000 members. We're currently sitting just below 1,000 members, so there is room to get in now, but I would do it quick if you have been interested in joining, because once we hit 1,000, I'm probably going to close it again, and at that point, the market might really be moving, so you probably want to get in before then if you do believe we're going higher in Q4. But yeah, I think things are going to be hectic there, so link in the description below if you want a little bit more guidance throughout the process. Remember, guys, comment your favorite ticker for Q4 below. Really fun video to film. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'm going to see you in the next one, probably tomorrow. See you later. Peace out.